With that, we say good evening. The Newport superintendent who stepped away from the district earlier this year is now barred from being a superintendent in Kentucky.
Tony Watts was recently investigated by the Kentucky Education Professional Standards Board. As part of our Crisis in the Classroom coverage, Chelsea Sick joins us now with what that board found and how Watts' attorney is responding. Chelsea.
Tony Watts stepped away from his superintendent role earlier this year after a disagreement with the school board. Watts' attorney Ed Massey says Watts and the board did not agree on ways to improve the district's financial troubles. So they came to a $175,000 buyout agreement, which became final in June. Massey says Watts later found out he was under investigation by the Education Professional Standards Board.
Sometimes you're going to make mistakes, and that's just the way it is.
Attorney Ed Massey says it was a simple mistake that will keep Watts from being a superintendent in Kentucky ever again. According to records from the Kentucky Education Professional Standards Board, Watts fired a teacher in 2023 after learning that teacher was the subject of an investigation by the Ohio State Board of Education. Watts then had a duty to report that teacher to the Kentucky Professional Standards Board. The documents say he did not report it.
He's not making excuses or defending against it. He just did not report it because he thought someone else had that responsibility within the district.
We're not naming the teacher in question because he wasn't charged with the crime, but the Ohio State Board of Education records say his license was revoked after several incidents involving students. One included inviting a student to help him stretch without any other adults present. Newport School Board attorney Brandon Volker says they didn't know about the allegations when they hired the teacher.
We were advised that because it wasn't final in Ohio, it didn't hit the kind of interstate reporting, which, I found to be a problem with the reporting amongst states.
The Standards Board said because Watts didn't report it when he found out, the teacher, quote, could have taught in a classroom in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. The board says that teacher submitted an application for employment to a neighboring school district. The report goes on to say Watts, quote, serious lack of judgment created an unreasonably dangerous situation for all students in the Commonwealth. What is your reaction to that?
I think that's a little bit overstated. He had been fired, so any district that was going to hire him would have been aware of that firing and should have probed further into that investigation. So I don't think it's fair to blame Mr. Watts for all of that.
Do you all know that no students were harmed by that person?
We know there's no students impacted in Newport. We based the decision to immediately suspend, to terminate, based on what had transpired in Ohio.
And the Standards Board came to a disciplinary agreement. He can no longer be employed as a superintendent in Kentucky. He could still be a teacher, though, and because of that, he's required to take 3 ethics courses by February 2026. Kyle.
All right, Chelsea Sick leading us off tonight. Chelsea, thank you so much. And Massey says that Watts had no intentions of being a superintendent again after leaving Newport.